Cedarwood Luxury Radio, Nigeria's first real estate radio.
Welcome to Billionaire City by Cedarwood, the most futuristic community in the city of Asaba. Located at Amachai Quarters in the Witch Tech Industries neighborhood of Isile Asaba, Billionaire City by Cedarwood is the meeting point of nature and technology. From an automated gate to QR code visitor access, CCTV cameras, and other security installations, you are assured of security whilst enjoying all the amazingness that is Billionaire City by Cedarwood. Every 464 square meter plot acquired at Billionaire City by Cedarwood assures access to estate amenities which include swimming pool, tech hub and co-workspace, fitness center and spa, Wi-Fi park, and more. If you're looking to live in a serene estate that explores modern technology for optimal comfort, then you should subscribe to Billionaire City by Cedarwood today.
Officially 15 million naira per 464 square meter plot, Billionaire City by Cedarwood is currently selling at a pre-launch price of 10.5 million naira.
All right, beautiful afternoon, Lagos, Nigeria. Welcome to Nigeria's first real estate radio, Cedarwood Luxury Online Radio. My name is David, and it's the real estate market trend, where we bring to you the latest trends and happenings in the real estate industry. Trust in the real estate industry. Trust you're Trust you're having a wonderful Monday. It's exactly 3 minutes past the hour of 1. Welcome to the real estate market trend for today, Monday, the 29th day, the 29th day in the month of July 2024. On the real estate market trend, every Monday at 1 p.m., we bring to you latest stories and happenings in the real estate industry. And today is not an exception. Do well to be part of us. Tighten your seatbelt and get yourself ready to be informed again, to become aware of the latest happenings in the real estate industry. Do well to like, to comment, and to share so that everyone around you can be part of this session this beautiful Monday afternoon. We have quite a few stories to bring to you, to present to you this afternoon. I'll begin with Business Day. The very first one here says Nigeria needs 5.5 trillion and 550,000 units annually to close growing house gap. Nigeria needs 5.5 trillion naira, 550,000 units annually to close growing housing gap. All right. The next one here says experts explain how cautious urban planning will drive future cities' growth. Cement, Lafarge, New Eco Planets, Unison raises bar in building solutions. Addressing housing affordability among low-income earners requires collaborative effort at Debayo. Mortgage in Nigeria is a mockery of housing credit system. Ashimolowo. And that is that on the property segment of the real estate market trend. No, not the property segments, the real estate segments. On the property segment of the real estate market trend this afternoon, we will be looking into a few other stories. And the very first one here says Africa more vulnerable to climate change, loss of species. The next one we have says government proposes land administration reform to boost socio-economic development. FIABCI's new leadership pledges professionalism, transparency. Stakeholders hinge future cities' growth on urban planning. These and many more we shall be receiving or talking about this afternoon on the real estate market trend. It comes your way every Monday at 1 p.m. And what we do on the real estate market trend every Monday at 1 p.m. is to bring to you the latest trends and happenings in the real estate industry. And it cuts across real estate, property, and the environment as well. Yes, the real estate market trend cuts across stories and happenings in the real estate industry. We bring to you also stories and updates, not just from the real estate industry, not just from real estate, but also property and the environment. Of course, you cannot talk about real estate without talking about property and the environment that it belongs to. And that is why the real estate market trend brings to you the latest trends, the latest stories, the latest news, the latest happenings in property, real estate, and environment as well. All right, having said all that, let's quickly segue into our very first story from Business Day newspaper. It says Nigeria needs 5.5 trillion naira, 550,000 units annually to close growing housing gap. A few paragraphs then. A few paragraphs from this story, then we segue to other stories. Experts at the ongoing African International Housing Show in Abuja have said that Nigeria needs 5.5 trillion naira to close its housing gap, estimated at 20 million units. The experts added that the country also needs to build about 550,000 housing units annually for the next decade to be able to bridge the gap. All right. The 5.5 trillion naira, according to the expert, is the value of the opportunity available to investors in the country's real estate market. Nigeria is grappling with a significant housing challenge as its population, currently estimated at 220 million, grows at an annual rate of 2.5%. Similarly, the country is urbanizing rapidly, and the United Nations projects that unless something is done urgently, about 60% of the country's population will be living in the city by 2030. Ahmed Dangiwa, the Minister of Housing and Urban Development, in his keynote addresses housing show, emphasized the urgent need for substantial investment and strategic planning to address the housing deficit. He revealed that while the government's plan to deliver 50,000 units of ambitious, it pales into significance when compared to the 550,000 units required annually. He sees the gap as both a social necessity and a business opportunity, encouraging investors and partners to participate through public-private partnership (PPS) and collaborations with building development finance institutions. He disclosed that the government is making efforts to address the country's housing challenge. The ministry has adopted a demand-driven approach for its housing delivery strategy to avoid issues of abandoned or unsold buildings. Recently, an online housing portal has launched to streamline the process of acquiring homes, recording over 28,000 applications since its inception. All right, let's quickly take the very next story we have this afternoon. And this very one says experts explain how cautious urban planning will drive future crisis growth. Still on Business Day newspaper. It says here that construction and environment experts have offered useful insights on how future cities of Africa will evolve, saying that the growth and successes of those cities will depend largely on cautious urban planning and development. They added that the growth will also depend on how compactable and compliant builders and their buildings will be with nature. The expert spoke at a 3-day event tagged Future Cities Africa Green Building Summit 2024, which, according to Green Building Nigeria, organizers of the summit, is an amber firing the hope and vision of Africa into a better future. The summit was intended to profile solutions to energy, housing, environment, and infrastructure challenges on the continent. The experts noted that future cities of Africa are envisioned to be sustainable and resilient with diverse transportation systems and profound social amenities, placing emphasis on green materials and the environment as other major growth drivers. My vision of future cities is one where cities have efficient waste management, green technologies, renewable energy source, all leading to affordable housing and robust transportation system. Mohamed Bago, Niger State Governor, noted in his keynote address at the summit. The governor coached his speech on future cities of Africa, a vision for tomorrow's urban landscape, highlighting some challenges which, according to him, could hamper the realization and sustainable and resilient future cities. He listed those challenges as rapid population growth and urbanization, explaining that by 2030, rural-urban migration will rise to 60% if adequate provisions are not made to withstand the pressure from this movement. There will be severe problems as the number of slums and other social problems will increase and lives will be jeopardized, the governor said. He noted that climate change is another threat to future cities, pointing out that there would be greenhouse gas emissions as a result of combustible cars, energy consumption, and inefficient waste disposal, which may lead to a rise in sea level, extreme weather conditions, and heat waves. All right, we'll quickly take our third story this afternoon. Cement, Lafarge new eco plant, Unisem raises bar in building solutions. Lafarge Africa, a leading innovative and sustainable building solutions company, have upped the ante to input materials offering with the launching of its new cement variant called Eco Planet Unisem. EcoPlant, touted as Nigeria's first low-carbon multi-purpose cement, is designed with over 30% reduction in carbon dioxide emissions, which shows a major step in the producer's commitment to sustainable building solutions. Produced from its Formosan plant in Cross River State, EcoPlant will be unveiled nationwide by the end of this year as Lafarge aims to double its market presence and enable low carbon construction at scale. Laolu Alade Akinyemi Lafarge, Africa's Group Managing Director CEO, assured at the launch of the new product in Enugu recently that emphasized the company's dedication to sustainability and innovation. At Lafarge Africa, our vision has always been to lead the building solutions industry in innovation and sustainability. The launch of EcoPlant Unisem is not just about introducing a new product, it's about redefining the way we think about construction and its impact in our environment, he said. We'll take our next story quickly on the real estate market trend. Addressing housing affordability among low-income earners requires collaborative efforts at Debayo. All right, the Festus Adebayo, a barrister at law, is the convener CEO of Africa International Housing Show, the largest housing exhibition and conference platform in Nigeria, which brings together housing sector stakeholders from across Africa on an annual basis. In this interview with Chuka Oroko, he speaks on the housing show and its advanced efforts on affordable housing in Nigeria. He also speaks on other salient real estate and housing issues. Experts. The African International Housing Show, AIHS, is in 18th edition, meaning that it has come a long way. The question was asked to him, tell us in specific terms what difference this year's edition seeks to make. And his response was the 18th African International Housing Show is distinguished by several key factors. This year's edition benefits from a strong collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, a newly established standalone ministry that emerged through dedicated advocacy efforts. Another unique aspect is the participation of the United Kingdom delegation through the UK Department of Trade and Investment. Their involvement will enhance investment, trade development, and skill building initiatives in Nigeria, which will add an international dimension to the show. The theme for this year, financing the housing we need, is part of what makes the show unique. The theme includes important sub-themes such as addressing the housing gap, promoting resilience and sustainability, and ensuring accountability in housing development. We will also examine the operational activities of key institutions like the Family Homes Fund and the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, focusing on how we can innovate their product to better serve low-income earners as regards affordable housing. What sets this year's forum apart is not only its theme, but also the widespread acceptance of its goals among diverse stakeholders. We have support from leading brands such as Dangote Cement, the African Union for Housing Finance, Shelter Africa, GMH Luxury, Cost Groove, Boeing Luxury, Brains and Hammer, Constrix, among others. Also, professional bodies in the housing industry are actively backing this edition. All right. I will not be able to take the full interview because it is quite lengthy. I'd advise you pick the Guardian, not the Guardian, Business Day newspaper, hopefully, preferably the soft copy to get that full conversation. We'll take the very last story from the real estate segment of the real estate market trend, and afterwards we'll segue to the property segment of the real estate market trend this afternoon. This very one said, mortgage in Nigeria is a mockery of housing credit system. Ashimolowo. For those of you that followed that follows our program, you will discover, or you would remember the very day I played a video interview of Ashimolowo and an interviewer, and he said quite a number of things concerning real estate in Nigeria. I probably would, one of the editions of either the Real Estate in Nigeria program or the Real Estate Market Trend, present another video interview of Ashimolowo and what he has to say, regarding the real estate industry, uniquely or specifically here in Lagos and in Nigeria in general. But then we take this very last story from the Real Estate Market Trend on the real estate segments. Mortgage in Nigeria is a mockery of housing credit system, Ashimolowo. The senior pastor of the Kingsway Church, Matthew Ashimolowo, he said that mortgage in Nigeria is a mockery of the housing credit system. Ashimolowo, who spoke at the ongoing Africa International Housing Show in Abuja, explained that what is obtained in other economies, coupled with high interest rate in Nigeria, makes mortgage a huge joke. The pastor, who was the chairman of the opening ceremony for the housing show, added that with interest rates at 25 to 30% and very short tenors, mortgage are too expensive in the country to finance the housing Nigerians need to finance the housing they need. He said Nigerian housing producers have to be innovative and intentional in creating products that are affordable. All right. And on that note, we segue into the property segment of the real estate trend this afternoon. The very first story here says Africa more vulnerable to climate change loss of species. All right. We'll take a few paragraphs from this story and then we'll segue to the next story. The federal government has said that Nigeria and other African countries are the most affected by the biodiversity crisis in climate change and called for policy instruments that will mainstream its elements into broader strategies and plans. Minister of State for Environment, Dr. Isaac Salako, stated this in his presentation during the validation workshop on national biodiversity targets and indicators for early action support project to implementation of Corning Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework in Abuja. He explained that African countries are leading the way on how to report the planet's biodiversity, saying they are accelerating action towards achieving the vision for biodiversity and living in harmony with nature by 2050. As stakeholders in this important process, we have a crucial role to play in ensuring we jointly define measures that are bold enough to preserve the biodiversity we cherish, the natural resources on which our survival depends. He urged that the African environment and resources, including that of Nigeria, have been hit hard by decades and countries of exploration mostly perpetrated by other countries, especially in the global north. And now our environment, our wildlife, our lands, and our people are most at risk. Our gathering is therefore a crucial milestone in this journey and a firm demonstration of our resolve to confront this catastrophe. We'll take the next story quickly on the property segment of the real estate market trend. And just so you know, I'm reading from the Guardian newspaper. All right. Government proposes land administration reform to boost socio-economic development. FMBN reforms. All right, apologies for that mix-up. After an initial effort by past administration that eventually turned out to be a false start, A fresh policy change may be in the offing to rescue the country from heavy clouds of uncertainty hovering over the real estate sector. The new measures which are being proposed include the establishment of a national mortgage register for titles that can be verified in terms of the coordinates, incentive, incentivizing and promoting the state government to make necessary administrative and operational changes. Among the proposals are the domestication of the model mortgage and the foreclosure law across the states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory, improving and standardizing the Land Use Act, constitutional and legal changes by making changes to certain areas in policies without necessarily changing the law, which is the land use charge. The move includes the creation of the National Lands Commission that integrates and harmonizes all the land management efforts of the government, irrespective of the ministries, departments, and agencies that are handling it. There are also plans for creation of a platform for broad national consultation process for participation and stakeholder management in the land administration process, as well as the development of a seamless land acquisition process and the development of a more acceptable approach to payment of compensation rates, having cognizance of stakeholders' concerns. All right, we'll take our next story quickly. FIABCI's new leadership pledges professionalism, transparency. All right, the president of the International Real Estate Federation, Nigerian chapter, Mr. Aki Akpatola, has pledged to enhance professionalism and commitment to values of integrity and transparency. Akpatola committed during his inauguration speech at the association's yearly general meeting in Lagos. He noted that over the years, the exceptional leadership of various elected presidents, including individuals, has enriched the association. Akpatola said, "I'm committed to upholding the values of integrity, transparency, and professionalism that have been the cornerstone of our dear association, which was registered as a chapter in 1972. I accept with deep sense of responsibility our election as members of the executive and board of our federation. This position I humbly accept with immense gratitude and a profound sense of submission to the demands of our members." He lauded senior colleagues and members which have produced incredible support and stakeholders who place their trust and confidence in the new leadership, as well as appreciated the past leadership for the service rendered to the association. Akpatola, an estate surveyor and valuer, further assured that the new executives would continue to strive to improve on the fortunes of the association and wouldn't be oblivious to the enormity of challenges and tasks ahead, and ensure that the association's mandate and vision are not only met but also be visible and impactful to the business community. Quickly take the very last story for the property segment of the real estate market trend, and this very one says stakeholders hinge future cities growth on urban planning. All right, stakeholders in the environmental and construction industry have stated that the growth and success of future cities in Africa depend on urban planning and development. The stakeholders stated this at the second edition of the Future Cities African Green Building Summit 2024, organized by the Green Building Council of Nigeria, with the team building resilient futures, integrating carbon neutrality, circular economy, and inclusive urban development. The summit aims to profile ways to transform cities to achieve a sustainable and resilient future. In his keynote address, Niger State Governor Mohammed Bago noted that urban planning and development are vital in creating vibrant, sustainable, and equitable cities, ensuring a balanced approach to growth that integrates development with essential infrastructure, service, and environmental considerations. The governor, who spoke on Future Cities of Africa, a vision for tomorrow's urban landscape, lamented that the changes facing future cities would hamper the realization of sustainable and resilient future cities. He listed those challenges as population growth and urbanization, explaining that by 2030, 60% of the world's population is expected to reside in urban areas. The rapid urbanization pressures housing, service, and infrastructure, leading to overcrowding, slum formation, and resource strain. The challenge is not merely in accommodating the influx, but in ensuring that our urban environment can sustain this growth without compromising the quality of life or the integrity of our natural surroundings, he stated. Bago noted that climate change and sustainability are other challenges to future cities. Cities are significant contributors to greenhouse gas emissions, particularly through transportation, energy consumption, and waste management. Climate change poses substantial risks, including a sea level rise, extreme weather events, and heat waves. All right. From next week, we'll begin to include mortgage news. All right. We'll begin to include stories from, how do I put it now? Stories that are relating, or stories from mortgage finance. All right. So, whilst we take stories about real estate, stories about property, stories about environment, we're also going to take stories about mortgage finance as well. And I'll just take one very story, and then I'll call it a day on the real estate market trend. Let's see. Okay. All right. Let's just take this very last story from mortgage finance. FG assures FMBN of 500 million recapitalization legislative amendments. The federal government has assured of its commitment towards the 500 billion naira recapitalization of the Apex mortgage firm, Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, FMBN, and facilitation of necessary legislative amendments of relevant housing industry laws, including the National Housing Fund Act 1992. FMBN establishes Act 1993. The Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Ahmed Dangiwa, who made the commitment last week during FMBN management retreat held in Abuja, themed Transformational Innovation for Sustainable Development in Uncertain Times, promised to ensure that FMBN gets all the necessary support at the highest levels possible to deliver maximally and optimally on its mandates to Nigerians. And this is the point where we call it a day on the real estate market trend. Hope we've been able to hope we've been able to make you become aware of the latest happenings and, stories in the real estate industry. And that is what the real estate market trend is designed, specifically designed for, to bring to you latest stories, latest happenings in the real estate industry. And it cuts across the real estate industry. It cuts across that. We'll bring to you stories from not just real estate, also property, newly introduced mortgage, and also, yes, the environment as well. But for today, we don't have any latest news as regards environment. Hopefully, the next edition of the Real Estate Market Trend will have stories from the environment. Thank you very much, everyone. We'll be back at 4 p.m.
This estate is very beautiful, very nice. I have good news for you. In this city of Owerri, we have very affordable land that is currently selling. This is a new estate in the city of Owerri. Guess what? This is Cedarwood City Estate, Phase 2, Obako Owerri. This estate is very sweet. Opposite our estate is Road Safety Office. That's opposite our estate. Our neighbor here is Lubos Manufacturing Company. You know what it means? Manufacturing company, they have many workers. They have up to 700 workers. I know what it means. Looking for houses to rent. You want to live somewhere close to their working place. So what it means that you need to buy this land, build and rent it out to people. But this place is buy and build. It's selling with a promo price of 5.5 million naira. Just 5.5. You'll be a landowner in this estate. And it's a stable dry land. It's trekkable from here to Obako Junction. And it's facing Onitsha Express Road. From here, you see the vehicle moving, passing. Freehold is the land title of this Cedarwood City Phase 2. So, if you're an investor and you're looking for a place to invest in the city of Owerri, Obako is here for you. Cedarwood City Estate, Owerri Phase 2, Obako is here for you. You need to be a landowner in this wonderful place. And Obako is fast developing. Many people are really moving to Obako. It's a perfect place for you to invest. Clearing has begun in this estate. We are really clearing the place because very soon we'll start perimeter fencing and gatehouse in this estate. As you can see, Caterpillar is there working. It's already working. So what you need to do is you rush to this estate and acquire your own property. 1 year from now, we are going to start our plot demarcation in this estate. So if you're looking for a point and kill estate in the city of Owerri, this estate is here for you. I remember my humble self, Emmanuel Madriki, BDM of P1 Plus Owerri, in charge of this beautiful estate. Remember, we are here to serve you.
I know that you have gotten the notion that real estate is the thing of the mind. But what if I have shown you? Then you will know that real estate is the thing of sight. Take a look.
Billionaires Resort by Cedarwood is specially curated for people who love luxury, people who love privacy, who love exclusive living, and people who ultimately love nature. What's that? Yes, we're that intentional about the developments at Billionaires Resort by Cedarwood. So we're currently at the Dr. Jane Elmere Nature Park, the Dr. Jane Elmere Nature Park, which is a habitat for beautiful animals, plant life as well. Here we have horses, crocodiles, turtles, monkeys, and other amazing animals. You can also see an interesting plant life here. And behind us, under construction, is the artificial lake, which will have a waterfall. And of course, there are other interesting recreational amenities. There's also here a sports complex, which would have a lawn tennis court. And of course, there's also the mini golf course.
It's real!
Yes, that's the children's playground, and over there at the area that has been casted already, we're having a Giants chessboard. Billionaires Resort by Cedarwood has everything that you need to enjoy a life of ultimate comfort. If I was you, I'll choose this place for home.
Scratch that! Billionaires Resort by Cedarwood Phase 1 is sold out!
And guess what? Billionaires Resort by Cedarwood Phase 2 is currently on sale, going for a promo price of 7.5 million naira.
Actual price is 12 million.
So it is advisable for you to key in before you hear the word sold out.